And we continue now with our great American panel. All right, the big issue of the censorship doctrine. We don't have a censorship doctrine for two left-wing liberal cable channels where anchors get thrills up and down their legs whenever the anointed one speaks, Obama. We don't have it for ABC, NBC, CBS. We don't have it for our nation's newspapers. They only want to go after talk radio. Sean Hannity, Rush Limbaugh, Mark Levin. You're a free speech liberal. I'm sure you're against any government intervention or entity determining what is a conservative thought or liberal thought on the radio, Mr. Mayor.
No, I don't think the government ought to be touching what the thoughts are, but I do think that there is absolute justification for some evidence using the public airways where you've been given a license. You have a responsibility to give me the same opportunity.
Does that go for Charlie Gibson, Brian Williams?
Goes for everybody.
And how do we
give you a license, if I give you a license, you have got to be prepared to allow all of us to have access.
Who determines what is, for example, I opposed the President Bush on Medicaid prescription drugs. I opposed him on Dubai ports and Harriet Myers, but I agreed with him on the war. I agreed with him on the economy. So who's going to determine when I give a liberal thought or a conservative thought?
Your Federal Communication Commission should have the responsibility to do that.
The government.
I don't think it ought to be A. Willie Brown or Sean.
I'd be kicked off the air in 30 seconds if you were in charge.
No, not true. Not true. You are able enough and wise enough to at least invite me, so...
Oh, okay. That's sort of pay-for-play radio and TV style.
Absolutely.
And everybody says what they want anyways. It depends on what show you're listening to, because, I mean, it really does, because sometimes, to be honest with you, I turn it off because you listen to one station.
What do you mean you turn it off? You cannot adopt 3 hours?
I don't turn yours off.
Oh, all right. Thank you.
But no, there's sometimes where you listen to what they're saying, and you get tired of the bickering back and forth, and at times it's a turnoff. But I do agree that you should be able to say what you want, because I know at least when I talk about charities, you should be able to talk about charities when you want to. But sometimes, I mean, we even had to sign something up in Buffalo that you can only talk for so much time.
Oh,
and it's like, you got to be kidding me. I mean, we're trying to get a good message across. Yeah. In today's society, anytime, and you were talking to me before about politics, I was like, why would I want to get into politics now? In 2000, and God bless you all, God bless all the people out there, but I'll tell you what, before this presidential election, I quit listening to it. I said, you know what? The Republicans are dogging the Democrats. The Democrats are dogging the Republicans. I mean, there's no.
Well, let me give. But you know what? I think these issues need to be vetted out. Marcia, you know, we had the issue of Bill Ayers, and I think President Obama lied to us. Not only when he said there's no welfare in the bill or pet projects in the bill. I think he lied about his relationship with Jeremiah Wright. And here's Bill Ayers. He was asked in an interview, "Do you regret any involvement bombing the Pentagon, the U.S. Capitol?" This guy started his career, our president started his career in the home of an unrepentant terrorist. He sat on boards with the guy, gave speeches with the guy. Nobody cared, it seems, but little old Sean Hannity and some conservatives. That's judgment to me. Why don't people care more about that relationship? Why didn't they care more?
I think that there is... that became so confusing. It's one of those issues that became so confusing to the public as to what it was. You can look at, in reading that New York Times Magazine interview with Bill Ayers, my goodness, there is acceptable political discourse and there's unacceptable.
But on 9/11
is wrong.
On 9/11, Willie Brown, he said, "I don't regret setting the bombs. I feel we didn't do enough." Bombing the Pentagon, the Capitol, New York City Police Headquarters. Barack Obama gave speeches, sat on boards, started his career in his house. Why wouldn't that be a bigger issue in the campaign?
Because
I still don't get it.
Barack Obama handled it in the following way. He said this man did some terrible things.
He's a terrorist.
He said this man did some terrible things. And I have no association with him whatsoever.
He went to his house.
He said, I have no association with him whatsoever at the time that he was doing the things. I've had no discussions with him about the nature of what he does. And the public bought Obama's rhetoric in that regard.
He got away. He got away with something that I don't think any politician could. But I got to run. What a great panel. By the way, we got this football here. I'm going to have Jim teach me how to throw a spiral.
You're doing pretty good. You got a little ways to go, but you'll be all right. I got some good receivers here.
We do have some good receivers. All right, now coming up,
some quarterback
Jihad, a shocking documentary, confirms the existence of U.S. terror training camps right here in the United States. So what are, these wannabe terrorists secretly trading in? That's all coming up.